Hey everyone, welcome back to Book Club. This week we're going to be talking about A Study in Drowning by Ava Reid. Let's get into it. It began as all things did, a girl on the shore, terrified and desirous. Effie Sayre has always believed in fairy tales. Even though, crumbling under the pressure of her first term at college, she can't always seem to tell the difference between fact and fiction. Her only solace has been Anagard, an epic from Lyrian national hero and author Emrys Myrddin. Taken by chance, and maybe fate, to the late author's estate, she is intent on finding the purpose to her own story, but instead stumbles upon Preston Helroy, a scholar from the Literature College. Preston has come to Hiraeth Manor determined to prove Effie's favorite author is a fraud, and her only hope of proving him wrong is to conspire with him. But Hiraeth, perched on the very edge of a wrathful ocean, holds dark secrets, the likes of which both Effie and Preston thought only existed in the pages of Myrddin's stories. The house, and the truth, might just ruin them both as the sea threatens to swallow it, them and all their stories whole. So, before I get into everything, one, I know I'm not pronouncing these names right. These are the names how I pronounce them in my head. And I know they're not right, but bear with me on that. And before I get into it, I just want to say, if you're going to write a book with heavy topics, can you please put a warning in them? So that's kind of going to lead into this. So if you don't want any spoilers, I would definitely go to the back of the video to where I'm going to give my rating, because it's not going to be the same as what I normally give books. But if you want to stick around and hear my opinion, this is where you should be. I don't know. So I finished this book a few weeks ago, as well as the second book. I read the second book as well. I had high hopes. I had really, really high hopes. Because it looks gorgeous. This is a gorgeous book. Even without the front, because it is a hardcover. If you're an author and you're writing about hard topics, in my opinion, I really think that you should be putting a trigger warning, because there were themes in this book and it wasn't directly said, but it was hinted at, and there were scenes that were explained of sexual assault and there was sexual harassment. Like, in my opinion, you should be putting, hey, there's violence, there's this at the beginning of the book, because some people might be sensitive to that and are gonna need those warnings, because it was a shock to me when I read this and I was like, oh, we're gonna go down that path. Let's see, what else? There were parts in this book where I had to go back and reread what I had just written, because I felt like I had missed something. So I would read a paragraph and then I'd read the paragraph under that and I'd be like, what just happened? Then I would go back and read and be like, okay, I didn't miss anything. It just felt like parts were missing at the beginning. I didn't really start to like this book or like get into it until about chapter 8, which is like halfway through the book. But I started getting into it a little more and I started liking it. It just didn't sit right with me. It was, I don't know, I didn't like it. I think it had potential. I will say, on the positive side of things, other than that and how I feel about those, there are quotes in this book that I am just like bewildered. Like, they are just amazing quotes, but only like a select few. Like, some of them, there's one that comes back and I really liked it. It's, I will love you until ruination, and the phrase after that is yours or mine. It's in the book that she's reading that she really loves. I was like, wow, that's really strong, and I really liked it. And there are like quotes, like if I were to go back and read this book, which I don't really have any desire to, other than to go back and find those quotes that I really like, there would be quite a few. I really did like some of the quotes in this book. But overall, I mean, it's this girl where she thinks she's crazy. She's been told she's crazy since she was really young. Her mother left her by the water for the Fairy King to take her, and she saw the Fairy King and everyone's just told her that she's crazy. And so she goes through this life taking pills and she thinks she's insane, but she's walking that line where she's not, where she thinks it's real but it's not. And then she goes to the house of her favorite author as he had just passed, and they put him in this museum, and they believe in magic, and she's like going through this process of am I crazy or am I not, and it just is like back and forth. There are good action parts. There's just also parts where you're like, oh my god, she might die, or oh my gosh, what's happening. But overall, this book is okay. For me, it's okay. That's just me. I was thinking more there'd be more fairies or be more historical, because like they have to go to phone booths, but there's cars. They light candles. It's very interesting. Overall, I would say this book for me is a 3.5 out of 5. Wasn't my favorite. Don't think I'd read it again. But there were parts of this that I absolutely loved. Like, also look at this spine. Ugh, the pages are beautiful. But yeah, I think this is the first book that I've talked about that I didn't really like. But I did read it. I don't not finish books. I don't DNF books, because this is a work of art, and I respect the artists and their work, and even if I don't like it, I'm gonna finish it. But that's just a me thing, so yeah. That's about it for this book. Next week we're going to be talking about the second book. It's called A Theory of Dreaming. I have it here. So if you want to hear my opinions on this one, which are just a little bit different, stick around, and I will see you guys next week at book club.